Hello and welcome to Chrysalis Invictus Tarot. It's so nice to have you here. I want to thank everyone who's been following along. We've had definitely a big increase, or big for this channel's increase in subscribers in the last week. And I am just so very grateful, not only for your being here, but that these messages can reach a larger audience and that there are people out there benefiting from this work. So we're just lighting a candle, sending healing energy to those who have brought these traditions forward for us, to our guides, any energies or entities that are helping us to move through our everyday experience of this world. And taking some long, slow, deep breaths coming into this space with me today. We have a reading for boost. So we're going to take a look at what needs more energy, what needs a boost in your life, and any other information we can get about that. So I've started out with the Mystic Sisters Oracle deck, and I have 3 piles here before me. If you've been watching my channel, you know I don't know the name of the stones, and it doesn't matter if I look them up, I'm going to forget them. I'm not a big supporter of the crystal industry. Most of the things I have are rocks. But for the sake of the videos, it's nice to have different colors. So we are taking those deep breaths. We're choosing our piles from our intuition. And coming into this space with gratitude for the people that have come before us, who have brought these tools, these traditions. When you're ready, I will meet you at your pile. Okay, pile number 1, these messages are for you. So let's take a look at where you need a boost in your life. Witch's Brew. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of a spiritual crisis vibe here, or feeling lost in some way, that perhaps in relation to concepts of manifestation or other new agey kind of concepts, that there is something that you've been working on, something that you've put a lot of energy into, potentially a belief system, and you're just not quite sure you need a boost in faith, in hope, in trust. It feels like there are missing ingredients. It feels like there hasn't been, it's almost like any energy that you're putting into those things seems to just kind of drop out the bottom. So for instance, if you put a lot of energy into some kind of ritual, so if we're to take Witch's Brew quite literally, you put a lot of energy into this ritual, this brew, and it just feels like it falls flat. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't do anything. So there's a couple of different things I'm getting for this. I'm getting like sort of a low level of frustration, sometimes a little bit of despair, not really fully understanding why this is happening or where the hole is even. It's like the brew is dropping out the bottom and into the fire. I'm hearing the smoke from the fire. There's something about the smoke from the fire that it's not meant to bubble and boil in the pot, but it is meant to fall into the fire. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Oh my goodness. I love when this happens. The Magician. And the Magician is all about using all of the tools available, right? On his table, he has the wands, the swords, the cups, and the pentacles. And it's alchemy and understanding how to create something out of nothing, how to generate, how to harness these sort of elemental powers. And then the Knight of Swords. You've received some bad information. This is good. Okay. You've received some bad information. So essentially what's happening is that you are following a practice that is not your own. You are, maybe someone that you really respected, maybe that someone that is worthy of respect has given you some advice, or you're following some sort of ritual or instruction that does not belong to you, that is not for you. And so this dullness that you're feeling in your practice right now is going to be enhanced by your breaking away from this one particular method and trying something different. Let's see if we can get any information about that. Okay, Queen of Chalices. All right, so perfect. This is what I'm getting here, is that whatever, and this could be quite literally you're using ritual, or you're using some sort of written wisdom, you're following some sort of dogmatic principles. This could be even, the principles of yoga, of Christianity. It can be anything, or science. And anything that is faith-based, and science is faith-based. So you're using your mind here, and this information is meant to come from your heart. It's meant to, your emotions are instructing you on how to proceed, how to practice. So if you pay attention to your feelings, if you pay attention to the way that you feel when certain things are happening, if you pay attention, also the Queen of Chalices is our queen of intuition. It's like a minor arcana of the High Priestess, where she is in tune with the flow and the current of things. So this is leaving behind this very masculine way of performing things. So quite literally, it depends on, obviously some of you are going to be practitioners of, like, maybe some of you are witches, maybe some of you practice high magic. And this is a call to remove yourself from high magic for a period of time and come into something more intuitive, maybe something more earth-based, but definitely more self-based and more heart-based. So for those of you who aren't into magic, witchcraft, that kind of thing, this can be about trusting your heart over your head, or at least listening to your heart a lot more than before. And this is not something that tends to be automatic for people. It's something that really unfolds over time. You just have to practice going, okay, well, how do I feel about this? When a choice comes up, when a decision comes up, when you are selecting even a path to follow, or a craft, or an art form. That's a good metaphor, is an art form. So let's say, someone was like, well, what you need to do is you need to, and I do feel like it's like very much that energy. It's like, well, what you need to do, always question when someone is telling you what you need to do. Like, even if I say what you need to do, take a moment and go, wait a minute, who are you? Is that what I need to do? That's that moment. That's what you're looking for. That's going to give you that boost in energy. I'm already feeling your energy lifted, that you're empowering yourself to really feel from your heart what feels good. If something is not feeling good to you, it is going to lower your energy. And then you will constantly need to find things to boost your energy. So you start relying on, I mean, it can be anything, but we develop different crutches and different things to help us boost our energy that only lasts for a period of time. It's kind of the difference between I guess we'll go with drinking a good quality, like fresh pressed juice or smoothie versus like a can of Coke. So right now it feels like your spiritual engine is running on cans of Coke and it's asking for a nice dense green smoothie, some fiber. Yeah, here we have Five of Pentacles. So this really feels like I'm on the outside, I'm looking in. What is that song? Something about seeing your true colors. Leave me a comment down below. There's a song, I'm on the outside, I'm looking in. I can see through you, see your true colors. Inside you're lonely, lonely like me. Something like that. Anyway, so I think what's happened and is that there was some sort of teacher, guru person in your life that maybe it was a reader, maybe it was someone who, and again, if you're not spiritual specifically, it's wherever you put your faith. So someone that you put your faith in as a teacher, you kind of saw through them. You saw through that layer. And really all that means, we don't have to put down our former teachers or make it mean anything about them, except that they are human, and that once the veil has fallen, that they're no longer the right teacher for you, that it's time to move on and find a different teacher. But I think that you really feel outside of a community in some way, outside of something that you previously felt a part of and a big part of. And that community, or that feeling that, you know, if it wasn't a community, it was being in association with that other person or idea, really felt magical in the beginning. It really felt like the way through. It felt like, oh, the incense is getting crazy across the screen. It really felt like it was for you, like you had found the answer, you had found the what you were looking for. And so now it's sort of like what used to boost you, what used to give you that energy is now draining it from you. So it's time to move on from that. I'm going to get some more advice here for you from the Botanical Inspirations deck. I like the feel of this deck. We have Clematis, and it says intelligence and mental beauty. Wisdom is the abstract of the past, but the beauty is the promise of the future. Yeah. This really feels like, you know, the attachment to some sort of teaching, to some sort of philosophy, to something from the past. And this is where I'm saying, you know, you don't have to disrespect what you learned or what you were taught. You can disagree with it now. You can move on from it. But it was really there to create a certain layer for you. But it's not your forever layer. And so that's where this sort of crisis of faith has come from. This could be crisis of faith in, you know, systems, in your government, in anything really. Anything that you previously thought was going to help you move forward in life or get to where you were going. Peony. It's so interesting. This deck has quite a few cards, but in a lot of my readings, I get the same cards. Prosperity and compassion. Prosperity depends more on wanting what you have than on having what you want. I feel like this ideology, whatever it was that you had faith in, really promises to deliver what you're looking for, but it didn't work for you, and it does work for other people. And there's varying levels, like that's on a spectrum. If you think of like multi-level marketing, it's based on you looking at someone achieving something, and then some people will feel like they failed because they haven't achieved what the other people have achieved, the ones that they show you in order to get you involved in that scheme. So whether this is a form of spirituality, a practice, whatever you were having faith in, it wasn't your path. So it's not that it doesn't work for other people, it just didn't work for you. So now it's about finding what will work for you. And we have affection and determination. The morning glory which blooms for a day differs not at heart from the giant pine that lives for 1,000 years. This is again trusting your heart. Let your heart lead and guide you through this. I want to just take a look at if there are any hints about about going forward, about what might be replacing. 10 of Chalices. Okay, so this is a path. This path of the heart is a path to ultimate emotional fulfillment. There's something about childhood dreams here. There's something about the way that you envisioned your life as a child and returning to that. So maybe this path or this belief system drove you away from what you had envisioned life was like. Maybe, you bought into the idea that those ideas were silly, and now you're seeing, in a pandemic, it's not hard for us to see that the things that we thought were silly, a lot of the independent entrepreneurs are doing all right now because they trusted and they had faith, and the structures that were in place really didn't have as much for us as we thought they did. A lot of people are going through that crisis of faith right now. So it could be that this is now a time to return to the way that you saw things as a child, and allowing the sun to set on something that just is outmoded. It's not working for you. It works for others, but not for you, and being okay with that. So this is the boost. Your boost ends with the 10 of Cups. That is, trusting your heart is going to be so, so nourishing and so fulfilling for you. And that's what I have for you, pile number 1. Thank you so much for joining. I do have a class listed down below and other offerings. If you check that out, I would be so, so grateful. And hopefully I get to meet you sometime at one of my things. We'll see you soon. Welcome to your reading, pile number 2. Let's take a look at where you need a boost in your life and any information we can get about that, any advice for you. So we have Caradwin. This is the cauldron of inspiration, of wisdom. Caradwin is a Welsh goddess figure, and she was known for shape-shifting and being the mother of Taliesin, the chief Celtic bard. I'm speaking slowly because messages are coming in as I'm sharing these pieces of information. So shape-shifting. Something about your identity needing a boost. I feel that there's a dullness. I feel that there's a dullness and there's this lethargy. I feel very heavy. I feel very slow. And this I feel is your energy. There's a lot of this feeling of like, wow, you really need a boost. Okay. There's a lot of, I'm going to sit back and try and describe this. And I hope that I can do this for you. So like, see how there's snowflakes? I feel like where there's supposed to be steam, there's ice. Where there's supposed to be warmth, there's coldness. And it feels like perhaps there's been a little bit of, this has been a pattern in your life where you've looked for warmth in places where you only receive something cold. So this could be mother issues, like big time mother issues here. So there's where you're in need of a boost. I can't even talk, man. This is heavy. Like, okay, let's transmute this energy a little bit. Ground your feet on the floor with me. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth with a sound. So I'm not going to do it loud because I'm wearing headphones, but you can swear, scream, sing, whatever you need to do. Let out a note. Let your throat vibrate. Let your shoulders slump down the back. And if you're especially tight in this space, draw your shoulders up to your ears, nice and tight. And then when you exhale, let the shoulders drop. Move the neck from side to side, the chin from shoulder to shoulder. And then make stars. So flicking your hands like this. Make stars. Keep deep breathing. And then we'll get back to your reading. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit brighter. Just so you know, I do have a class coming up on Tuesday called Boost that is specifically to work through these issues in the body and to build energy in the body when you're experiencing these sorts of things. So it can be a mood boost, but also a physical boost. I'm feeling like these issues, because they source back to a mother figure or a mother energy, that where you need boosting, not only in your physical body and your physical energy, is in your metabolism. So your solar plexus is a bit lethargic and you are ungrounded. Your lower chakras are all just sort of like running on is the best way I can put it. So the lower chakras definitely need a boost in energy. And part of that is finding something that feels stable and finding like a nurturing energy that feels stable. So this is, you know, the path to finding that stability within yourself is by no means a short thing. And I want to offer you solutions that you can do now. But the long-term process here is to, and I'm feeling like you already probably know this, but is to work on that mother wound. Yeah, we have the Page of Chalices. This is telling me that it could help if you were able to communicate your needs to others. Now, this is a tricky one because, you know, when we withhold from asking others for help and then we eventually ask, and if they can't deliver, that can be kind of hard or triggering. But being able to, you know, sort of lightly ask for what you need, or at least knowing what you need, maybe taking a journal and writing down, like asking yourself the question, what do I need right now? And then writing that down. Again, we have this steam and snow energy. I just feel like like things go from, if you do get a boost, things go from low to high and then back again. Like it's not a slow process, and it's because of that lack of stability in the root. So keep watching. We'll get to some more advice for you. I believe in being real. I don't believe that, everything is peachy, keen, rainbows and sunshine all the time. And I believe that there is such thing as toxic positivity, but I do want to give you something to help uplift you. 3 of Chalices. This is a reminder that there are people who want to help you. You are not a burden to those around you, that you are in some capacity part of a community, or that is available to you. And that there are others who feel the way that you do, that would have sympathy and compassion for the way that you feel. And that they also, when we connect to another person and they have a similar situation to our own, or where they've experienced things like we have, it can be really validating, because sometimes we feel like we're kind of alone in this, or there's something wrong with us because we can't seem to, in this case, like sometimes move your body. Like there's difficulty here. And I say this in all of my readings, everything's on a spectrum. So for some of you, you can't get out of bed. For some of you, you just notice that there's something off the top of your energy. There's just something missing there. There's something where that extra little bit isn't available to you. That storage of energy just isn't there, and it's going into your mind, and it's a heavy heart. It's feeling like you don't know where to turn for help, or that isn't available. But it is, this is confirmation here. And being vulnerable is not weak. And this is really communicating your vulnerability. May seem scary, but it's actually the key here for you to communicate that. The 5 of Chalices. Okay, so for some of you, I'm really feeling that there could have been a death that you experienced, or an ending that you're still really processing. So what I'm hearing is that you are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to feel heavy. You are allowed to not be fully functional as you process this, but you're called to actually acknowledge that you're processing grief. So if you can do that, to actually acknowledge that, something was meaningful, or that something is still troubling you, that's going to be really helpful. And 2 of Pentacles. Okay. So there's a juggling act. There's something that you've been maintaining, or I'm getting that you have responsibilities that mean that, maybe sometimes you want to stay in bed, but you can't. And it feels like you're going through each day with this sense of burnout, or half-heartedness. And it's because your heart is being split in 2. So you're called to decide whether certain things in your life are needed at this time, what can fall away. And even if you let it fall away and what you replace it with is rest, that's okay, because you do need that rest. You do need that time to regenerate, and to give that warmth to yourself. So this could be, if it's not mother issues in the sense of like you had trouble with your mother, it could be that, your mother died, and I'm very sorry for your loss. And those feelings of grief are so valid, but it's not for me to validate those emotions, honestly, for you. It's about you validating those emotions for you. We have the Dahlia, dignity. A wise man has dignity without pride. A fool has pride without dignity. Okay, and this is about asking for help again. So, maybe you feel like you don't want that veneer of strength because, though I've been talking about all of this stuff, I can see that there is a strength to you. This is a very strong energy. There's a strength, but if you are too prideful to ask for help, it can make the problem worse. It's sort of like, I do this all the time and I shouldn't. When something's going wrong in the bathroom and you don't call the landlord until it's at, the downstairs neighbor is going to have flooding critical level. It's kind of like that, but for your mental health and your physical health as well here. Amaryllis, determination and creative achievement. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Yeah, and it feels like part of the reason you don't want to stop or take this rest, if that's the case, is that you're afraid that you will lose something from it. But what I'm hearing is that if you rest, if you allow yourself time to fully process this grief, to rest, to heal, to nurture yourself and nourish yourself, once you start that creative ball rolling again, or whatever endeavors you put on pause, it will take off from there and you will have the energy to sustain it. So that it's sort of counterintuitive that you have to stop in order to move forward. And peony, prosperity and compassion. Prosperity depends more on wanting what you have than on having what you want. This for me always comes up as a bit of a stubborn energy, that you know what's best for yourself, and you do, but you're not necessarily giving it to yourself, and that's where the issue comes in. So any future energies, any final messages for you? Pile number 2. I'm feeling a little bit lighter. I'm not feeling as heavy as I was in the beginning. So I hope that that's reflective of how you're feeling right now. Just know that, this is nothing to be ashamed of. This is an experience that way more people have than they're willing to admit. High Priestess. High Priestess. I'm going to get one more. And the 6 of Swords. You're moving away from a life where you don't listen to yourself. You're moving away from a life where, this is really stepping into an intuitive care for yourself. So this is where, if something just in you is like, I need to eat a peach right now, you eat a peach. If you are feeling like, I need to take the day off work tomorrow and go hiking, where you make that happen for yourself. And each time you do that, and the more you lean into that, the more you will see yourself boosted and lifted. So there are all these and those are going to be going back to that nutritious drink versus the can of Coke. These are going to be more nourishing, more energy sustaining things to do when you follow your intuition. Okay. So that's what I have for you. Please comment, subscribe, like, whatever it is that people do to help support the channel. And I'm so, so grateful for you being here. Take care. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Let's take a look at where you need a boost in your life and any kind of advice that comes from that. Dryads. Okay, so the dryads are tree spirits, essentially. And what I'm getting is that you are in need of connection with nature. That the more time you spend in nature, the more it's going to help boost you. So what does this mean? It means that you take 10 minutes out of your day to go stand under a tree at the very least, be in your garden. If you have one, connect with the plants in your home. You are in need of plant energy. The more saturated in plant energy you are, the better it will be. There's some sort of, so if you are an energy healer, like if you, or if you heal in some way with your hands, if you're a massage therapist, if you're a healer in any kind of capacity, this is especially important. There's something that's moving through your body right now that really needs that green energy. And especially like if you're watching this when I'm filming this, spring new growth energy is going to give you such a tremendous boost. I'm feeling it boosting already, opening your heart space, clearing out some of that heaviness. It feels like you've been around a lot of, and you could very well be a nurse. You've been around a lot of metal. You've been around a lot of like synthetic fabrics, synthetic things. And so being around, even if you bring, so my friend and I, we laugh a lot because we have like, I have chunks of moss in the corner of my home. I have like pieces of plants, and don't just take pieces of plants. Like they have to be gifted to you. You know, it has to be okay for you to take them. Please don't pick anything live, but having that sort of stuff around you can be really helpful, or just, noticing the kinds of how synthetic the fabrics are in your home, like embracing more natural things. This can also go along with what you put in your body. So, and I know this is said all the time, and I don't mean to be one of those like annoying people, but natural foods and drinks will really help from the inside, but also having that in your environment. So if you're not able to make it out to the woods, just making sure that your environment is reflected of nature in some way. Maybe having, a plant friend that you talk to or something like that. So let's take a look at maybe where this is coming from. Oh, right away. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. It's coming from your work. So whatever it is that you do for work, this is a very clear message. Whatever it is that you do for work has you in a very an environment where the light is not right, or the what is around you, the materials, the textures. You could very well be an earth sign. So you're very much, if earth signs are, or have a lot of earth in your chart, where you're very much affected by the environment in that way. So this is calling to be very mindful of your environment and of how natural the environment is. Okay, yeah. And drawing, this is Virgo. This is such a clear message that it makes me feel like it's for one person specifically, but I bet it's not, because there are a couple other energies that are coming through. So for my Virgo crew, you are definitely sensitive to the home environment. For my Taurus, it's the things that you're eating. And for for Capricorn, it could be work environment. So those are the 3 kind of earth energies that are presenting themselves, and you don't have to be those signs in order to need this message, but that's what's coming through. So with this Hermit energy, this is definitely telling me that whatever you do, it's draining you. And so there's this feeling of needing to pull back. And if you're not able to pull back, if you're not able, like if you're saying to me, I can't take time off work, I can't, I don't have the space for this, that, and the other thing. All I'm saying is that finding, solutions, maybe at your lunch break, even now that the grass is out, going out, taking off your shoes and putting your toes in the grass like you're on your break and making that a priority. Yeah, it could seem silly, but it would actually feel really amazing. And it's true. Okay. We have the Four of Swords. Yeah, you're in need of a rest. There's just this burnout, and you need peace and quiet and nature, and even the people around you, people that feel really natural to you, people that you don't have to try hard with, or being alone is really going to give you the boost that you need. And it's going to boost what it is specifically your healing energy, because you're getting burnt out. You're going to, the Page of Chalices. There's something that is available and accessible to you in terms of nourishment, in terms of love, emotionally, if you go and sort of draw yourself inward. It's something that you cannot see or access without taking this rest, without taking this time to connect more with nature, to connect more with the natural world. It's almost like the chemicals and the synthetic environments and things like that are blocking it out. They're creating this like wall around you where you can't see. It's almost like you can't see what you need. So it's really going to boost your energy to discover what it is that you need. I'm going to take some botanical inspiration cards for you for some additional advice. These cards have quotes on them. It says, it's gladiola, strength of character and moral integrity. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experiences of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, vision cleared, ambition inspired, and success achieved. This is interesting because it almost goes against what I'm saying. However, I feel like that's what you've been doing. I feel like this represents sort of a past energy. You have been through the ringer. You've been showing your strength of character. You've been making these decisions that are aligned with your integrity, that are important but difficult decisions. And so this is what I'm getting, is that you've come so far with that, but now the environment or some details of the environment, this could also be about screen cleansing, like not being on screens as much. Because that can be, being mindful of like what kind of electronics are around you can also be another aspect of that environment thing. And again, whether you're aligning with the sort of Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo paths of this reading. So whatever it is, you have already been through these trials, or at least the ones that are leading up to whatever this juncture of your life, at this point in your life. And so cleansing all of that away, or clearing all of that away, is going to allow the inspiration and success and ambition and vision to come out clearly. So you have to retreat in order to have that come out. What else do we have for pile number 3? our earthy peeps over here. Hibiscus, beauty and happiness. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Yeah. And this, okay, so I'm hearing it's like the eternal nature of a flower or of the seed or of the thing that is growing. So really going out into spaces and honoring the smell, the feeling, the growth. Particularly in spring, it's a really great time to do that because you can feel it in the air and you can smell it in the air. We'll get one more for you. Forget-me-nots. Forget-me-nots. Eternal memories. There's a sense of the timeless here. I wasn't getting this from the cards, but regeneration, but also something, for some of you, this could be a very big shift that's happening. A very big shift in your life where you've really been through the trials and this is the end of one stage and the beginning of another. Eternal, that feels like it's a whole other reading. The best things in life are the people you've loved, the places you've seen, and the memories you've made along the way. And this is like, really feels like you're sitting with this. You're sitting with this in spaces of nature. It's almost like you can't see it until you get into those spaces or until you're in the right environment to be able to see that. I have experiences where as soon as I step into a forest, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for my friends. I'm so grateful for, this, that, or the other thing, or I see my own growth. And I really get that is, and I'm an earth sign, so here I am with you. So I really relate to that. I really relate to how much you need that shift in environment, that change in environment. And maybe if you were making a decision about work or making a decision that involved like home or switching environments, this could be something to really think about, is the place that you're going to environmentally, like even a view of nature can change the entire energy of your workday. So keeping that in mind. I think I'm going to leave you here, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining. Please check out my boost class that is in the description box below. It's an active yoga practice to help boost some energy in your body, mind, and spirits. And all my other offerings are down below. Please like, subscribe, whatever else people do to support a channel. And I'm so, so grateful for you. Take care.